back like we never left because we never did leave. You got your boy Love When the Hate One, and your boy Gil is in the building. And you guys already know, man, we finna cook. Man, we got this interesting fight coming up between Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor. And all these fights was good. You know, in my opinion, you guys, I know the fights was close, but I gave Amanda Serrano the first one. I think Amanda Serrano won the second one as well, but it was very debatable. Could have even been a draw. But the headbutts got to stop somehow. Katie Taylor is like a low-key dirty fighter. Like, she reminds me of like guys like Bernard Hopkins, where he'll sneak in headbutts and do little shit to get to your head and shit like that. And in my opinion, Serrano has to get her back, man. Stop letting her do that to you if you're not gonna do it back to her. But I think it's gonna be another good fight. You know, this is my like quick little early thoughts on it. I personally feel like Amanda Serrano is gonna do everything in her power to win this fight. And who knows, maybe the judges may give her some leeway, you know, or some sympathy for the last fight, because a lot of people thought Serrano won too. But another thing as well too, this be the deciding factor of the fight. The referee has to take away some points if the headbutts continue. And if she can strip her from a few points, you know, maybe even somehow get a knockdown in this fight. Because one thing about Katie Taylor, she has good recovery, but I've seen her hurt multiple times. I'm talking like to the point it looked like she was gonna get knocked out, and then she recovers really fast. So if, you know, it seems like Amanda Serrano got to do a little more than extra to win the fight, though, which is crazy. But I think they're gonna give Amanda Serrano the decision this time. What's your thoughts on that, Gil?
I had Taylor winning both the fights, bro. I thought she was catching her with more punches in the second fight, and in the first fight, I just thought she did more. Okay. To me, I think the reason that Serrano was getting caught with those headbutts is because she was coming straight in, bro. You're supposed to use the jab to kind of stop that. She didn't really do that.
Well, that's not her style,
they were both coming in with the heads, and they were getting caught with each other with the headbutts. Yeah. But if you don't want to get caught with the headbutts, turn to the side and then come in. Don't come in directly towards the head. She was doing that. You could hear some of the commentators even say that. So you could say it was her fault too, because she was coming directly in. Like, she knew the head was there. So she wasn't even trying to bend down. She was coming directly. I get what you're saying, that the referee should take some points, but they didn't. So I think Katie Taylor's kind of in her head. She beat her in her own backyard. She beat her in New York, bro. So it might be one of those things where she's got her number, you know?
I can't really say got her number, because if you got somebody's number, you have to like beat them clear as day. Now I understand you probably thought, you know, she won clearly, but a lot of people thought differently. You know? But
let's remember that these rounds are 2 minute rounds, bro. It's a lot shorter. Right. So it's harder to impose your will on these fights because they're a lot shorter. So you have to do a little bit more when you're starting, because you don't have as much time to get anything done. Yeah. So it makes it more complicated for the women to actually get something done.
Yeah, that's true too. But I also want to respond to something you said earlier about, you know, how Amanda Serrano, when she comes in and she don't use her jab, man, that's just I wish she would do that, but that's just her style. She needs to stop that shit. That's her style. She's kind of like a Benavidez in a sense, where
that's kind of why I believe that she got her in the second fight, because she wasn't using the jab. If you're using the jab, it's gonna stop them from using the head to come in, bro. And she was trying to box at times, but it wasn't like very consistent with it. So Katie Taylor was catching her at the end of her punches. So she was doing it more because she was doing it in combination. She was doing 3-punch combinations when Serrano was doing 2 punches, right?
Yeah.
So that's what I gave her the last 2 rounds, I think, because of those combinations that she was catching her with.
Yeah, man, it's interesting, man. You know, I'm quite sure there's a lot of people out there that agree with you. Like I said, maybe I gotta watch the fight back, but I do thought Amanda won, especially the first fight, and then the second one could have went either way, which is why the third fight actually made sense. But you're not lying about that jab. She got to implement that in her game plan, you know, because she just throws. I'm telling you, Benavidez does the same shit. That's why guys like that get head-butted and stuff like that, because you just throwing, you're just going for the kill, like not even thinking about defense at all. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting, though. You know, like I said.
And here's the interesting part that nobody's talking about. Taylor is actually, I believe, a couple years older. So how is that gonna affect her too in the third fight? You know, I've seen her slow down. Her legs aren't as quick anymore. So can you force her to increase the pace in this third fight, and that could help Serrano get something going too?
I didn't think about it that way. But shit, based off what you said just now, who you got winning the fight? You think Taylor gets it again?
Well, I've seen Taylor change things up in every fight. She's always done something different to kind of get the win. So I kind of do think Taylor has the edge, but there's ways for Serrano to get it, because but the thing is that Serrano kind of starts late. She has to get started early and just keep using combinations and the jab to get the fight, to get the victory.
Yeah, but if somebody had a gun to your head and say, Gil, who the fuck you picking for this fight? Who you got?
I'm gonna pick Taylor because she's got both of them, bro. And until they can beat her, I'm not gonna say anything else, because Serrano hasn't been able to. I think that's why she tried to get into her head in the face-off, because she's trying to get an edge mentally and think that maybe I can pull it off. You know what I mean?
That's interesting, though. I got Serrano, though, you know, but you made some good points that, you know, made me think a little more. But I haven't seen the face-off yet. But based off what you told me, and of course I believe you, maybe that is a good little mind game.
It's on my Facebook page. I have it on there. So if you want to go check it out, you can go see it.
Yeah, I will after we do the call. Hell yeah, I got to see that shit. But that's interesting, though. And that lets you know it's going to be real. It's going to get real. So this is a very interesting fight, and I look forward to seeing it. Any more final thoughts on it, though?
I think it's going to be interesting, because I think Serrano's going to bring it. I just don't think she's going to have enough. She doesn't have the same kind of power Katie does. And I will say there was 2 headbutts that did look kind of fishy to me during that fight. Mm-hmm. But a lot of it is because they were both coming in at the same time, and the headbutts are going to happen. Yeah,
that's true. Headbutts happen in damn near every fight. You just got some bad ones, and then you got some decent ones, you know, to say. But yeah, man, that's my final thoughts. I personally feel like it's gonna be a good fight, but I'm leaning towards Serrano on this one. You know, my boy Gil's leaning towards Taylor. You know, and we gotta wait and see. You know.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.